Greedfall is a game all about expectations, because if you know what you're getting into, then I think you will actually be surprised by the fact that it does a lot of the RPG systems really well. I'm hooked right now and I want to see more of this world after exploring it for the last few days. So let's get into my review, my impressions of Greedfall, the action RPG on PS4, Xbox One and PC. Would be awesome if you could leave a like on the video as it shows your support. And let's go. Exploring the island of Greedfall is one of the highlights of the game for sure. It's not an open world game, but there are regions that you can explore with a fog of war that slowly disappears as you move through. You will occasionally find enemies along the way that you have to take out, and sometimes even a big mini boss that requires more tactic to defeat. The game isn't afraid to throw these powerful bosses at you early on. You can try to take them out, but it's of course smarter to come back later and then try your luck again. I would also come across these chests with powerful loot that you could easily miss if you did not explore the regions enough or killed the strong enemies that were protecting it. So even though there's not this big open world, it's still really rewarding to explore the land and find its secrets. And exploration is also the theme of the main story, learning more about the island that this game takes place on and the war between the multiple factions that want to control it. While it seems pretty black and white at first, with the natives not liking the presence of the new more modern factions coming onto their land, it quickly turns out that there is more going on and that they aren't all as innocent as they look. And you actually find this out via the side missions from your party members as well. You actually get all the 5 party members by following the main story. You unlock them actually pretty early on and can then choose to help them with some personal issues that are sometimes connected to the overarching war between the factions too. For one of the early side missions, you have to look for a missing recruit from your buddy Kurt, who turns out to be dead because he drank too much. Well, upon further questioning people and using your charisma skill to insist that you want to see the body, there seems to be more going on. And without spoiling any important details, it is linked to the war that is going on. So you see a different side of it by following this side mission. And by the way, it's pretty cool to see that the points you spend in the attributes and talents have a real impact on the choices that you can make. It's nothing revolutionary, but I haven't played a game in a while where it was really hard to choose where to spend your points, because a lot of things that you can unlock are really beneficial. There are multiple ways that things can go, and being able to convince people that what you want is the right choice for them can lead to less people dying or a faster progression through a mission. While it's hard to say how things will change in the overall story, there are a lot of choices or ways you can approach situations to have a different path throughout the same mission. The balance in the mission structure can be off sometimes though, with you running from conversation to conversation for one mission in just one city without any combat. Would have been great if you went to some different locations or got some fights in between as well. And this is something that is the case for the whole game. One time you will be talking to people for 30 minutes and then the next hour you are exploring the different regions and fighting a lot of the different animals and bandits that you come across. Fighting is a lot of fun and actually feels great in Greedfall. I started out with the magic playstyle because sending out these bolts from far away seemed like a ton of fun. Well, turns out that swinging your sword around and physically hitting the enemies is more satisfying in my opinion. So I went for a more hybrid, ranged melee playstyle. You will quickly be noticing that parrying is the way to go, so then you will constantly be hitting that button to block incoming attacks and then strike when the time is right. The enemy variety is decent, with different animals that sometimes attack you from afar or are actually really annoying from up close, like these bats. And when playing on a harder difficulty or when fighting stronger enemies than you, the combat really shines, because then you will be required to use all your different skills to make it through, and it's possible to kill these stronger enemies if you are smart enough. And this is also where again the urge to upgrade comes from, because being able to cure poison, for example, with your heal ability or heal all your teammates is really a game changer. While I also want to unlock the ability to wear a two-handed long blade, because I just found an awesome legendary one that I can't wait to use. There's always a new goal in Greedfall. Do I want to explore that region I just discovered, or continue with one of the main story missions to learn more about the island? I still have that mini boss as well that I encountered but could not kill yet. And my party members have these quest icons above their head too. I should likely help them. There's always something to do in the game, and if you're not feeling the current quest or want to do some fun things in the arena, then you can obviously go and do that instead. The sad part about the arena though is that it's the same for every city. I first thought that every city would have a different arena in their tavern, but it all led to the same one with the same challenges. And this is something that is noticeable throughout the whole game. A lot of buildings or camps are used in multiple places, so it will kind of take you out of the experience for sure. Overall, the graphics are decent though, and there are some awesome locations that you will go to and that are actually really cool looking. Also, the difference between a more urban environment and the more native camps or just the woods in general are really well done. But then on the other hand, we have the character models and the enemies who will become familiar as the time goes on. And this is where the expectations also come in that I told you about earlier. I've said this before in other videos as well. Greedfall does not have the same budget as a Dragon Age or Assassin's Creed game that seems similar. 35 people worked on this game, while with Assassin's Creed there are 1,000 people, and with Dragon Age hundreds of people working on that project. They are still asking for kind of a premium price though, $50 instead of the regular 60, so it's totally not unfair to compare these games. Yes, the lip sync could be better, and the combat animations do look a little bit clunky sometimes. Those are fair criticisms, and if you are a person who will get annoyed by that, then Greedfall is likely not a game for you. I had these expectations going in, and it did not really take me out of the experience that much. So I actually came away pretty impressed by the many things that this game actually does well. I also think that if you could see through the choices that were made thanks to the limited budget, then the price is totally worth it for the amount of content that this game has. Without any microtransactions or things behind a paywall, by the way. I'm also pretty impressed by the amount of quality cutscenes that this game has that do a great job of showing more important moments of the story. Sometimes you see games cut back on them and then you have important moments play out via the regular conversations. It's actually cool to see many of these scenes in Greedfall during the time that I played. Another thing that I really like is that you will not be picking your companions for the combat. Like, it's great to have Siora with you because she can heal you and the rest of your team from time to time. But no, the main reason I have her by my side is because she gives her perspective during conversations. She's a native from the island, so when talking to factions that don't really like her people, she will defend them and share her opinion, to which the NPCs will respond as well.
These savages, they stubbornly refuse civilization, and our men pay the price. We can't let them slaughter us without reacting.
Since you arrived here, you have destroyed the forest and ripped open the earth. And people disappear in our villages, the On-Almenawi first. We are only defending ourselves, and we are the savages.
Since we've defeated you, you can believe what you like.
It feels natural and makes sense because these characters are with you. Not picking Siora as your party member will have you miss out on these conversations, although I'm likely missing out on some of them myself, because I have her and not someone else with me all the time. I want to continue playing Greedfall, see more of the story, explore the world and fight more of these awesome looking creatures. If you are up for a new action RPG with a big focus on dialogue choices on an interesting island and can see through the fact that it's not a AAA game and that there were choices made because of the limited budget, and that you don't mind talking to a lot of people to progress some of the missions, then I totally think that you will have a good time with Greedfall. I'm at least having a great one and can't wait to dive back in. I know that some people ask this in the comments, so I want to just note it in my review. If I had to score it, I would give it between the 7.5 and the 80, and that's where the Metacritic is currently sitting as well. I will have tips and tricks up to help you level up fast, get a ton of money, and way more as you come to expect from me. So totally subscribe for more on Greedfall if you haven't already. Would be great if you could like the video because it really helps the channel out. And if you have any questions, then you can leave them below and I will do my best to answer them. You can also check out my previous video with some level 21 gameplay footage where I fight a special mini boss too. So if you're still on the fence, then maybe that can help you make a decision one way or the other. For now though, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.